Okay, let's get back on track.
You want to start at the next point, or
I'm going to ask you, you just asked me a question. I'm going to ask you a question. Look, actually, before I ask you this question, I'm going to clear something out. We did a light prep talk conversation last night, and we were going to do the classic Avengers versus the classic Justice League. And we're not going to sugarcoat anything with you guys. I told Max, I'm like, where do you stand on this? Because I think we should disagree on it. And he was like, Justice League. And I was like, cool, we disagree on it. And then he pitched me like 20 seconds worth of things. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, the Justice League slams.
yeah. So to break it down, right? Classic versus classic. In the Avengers, you have Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, Cap,
Black
Hawkeye,
Widow.
and Black Widow. When we say classic, we mean Avengers 1, potentially Avengers 2, excluding
Ish.
Vision,
Yeah.
which I don't think makes too much of a difference. But
And
if we
like
want to
the
throw
Wanda Quicksilver, like
correct
help.
But if we're going classic 6v6, we
Yep.
have, like I said, Hulk, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man,
Hawkeye,
Hawkeye,
Black Widow.
Black Widow. There's your 6. Against the Justice League 6, you have Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg, and Batman.
You could have cut the list off
At the first 3.
probably after the first one, but easily after the first 3.
Correct.
Who's stopping Superman on the Avengers?
If we're talking cinematic, I don't think anyone.
Mm-mm.
Thor is your best bet. The
Yes.
person to hold up against a sun. We saw that in was it Infinity War?
Yeah,
He took the power of a sun.
one of my favorite
Very
scenes.
impressive, amazing scene. The person who is closest to Thor in the Marvel universe is Hulk. In the earlier Marvel universe is Hulk.
And there's a big gap between Thor and Hulk when it comes to fighting supes.
I agree. And then you need both of those two 100% at it going against Superman. It's tough. Then you have to deal with somebody who is very close to Superman's strength. Wonder Woman. You have no one else, unfortunately.
You really don't. I racked my brain last night. I'm like, that it's not possible.
Then
and then
you
I'm
have
what?
then who do you have left on Marvel's side? All right, you have Iron Man. Iron Man is probably going to be focused on Batman. Who else is going to be focused on Batman? It's probably going to be Cap and Batman.
Mm-hmm.
They would deal with him quickly, I think.
The funniest part
Go ahead.
is
We haven't even mentioned somebody who could wipe the team instantly.
I can't say that Supes is not the number one biggest threat, but I might put Flash at 2 over Wonder Woman. You give me an
No, I agree with you. Flash is number 2.
optimized Flash that's there to win the fight. It might. Nobody's doing anything on the Avengers.
No.
And if you get a Flash that wants to just punch a hole in somebody's chest, Black Widow's out, Hawkeye's out.
Here's the thing. Black
Hulk's
Widow
not yet, but he's going to die.
Black Widow and Hawkeye
They're not
die instantly.
They shouldn't be
If
in this
it's a
fight.
if it's a battle to the death, unfortunately, those two are gone before the announcer finishes the fight.
I just picture Flash just pulling up right behind them both and being like,
done. Unfortunately, you guys are finished.
Not even fatal hits. You could just hit them hard enough to just, you're out.
You're out because they're just humans. Now you go into the comic side of things.
That's when things change.
That's when things change a little bit. There's been a lot of talk recently with some of the recent Thor comics that
Rune King.
Yeah.
Thor.
That Thor is strong enough now to take on Superman.
But the tricky part is if we really deep dive into the comics, they have like Superman 1 million or whatever.
They have Superman Prime. They have Superboy Prime, which, again, correct us if I'm wrong, I've heard is stronger than Superman, which is crazy. Kind of in the same way that they say Invincible is stronger than Omni-Man because of the human blood mix and all that kind of stuff.
Fair.
So, yeah, I think overall, though, looking at it from just a clear top-down view, the Justice League will technically beat the Avengers.
I can't even argue with it.
Yeah, and then as well as if you go into the comic side of things, yes, you have a few more characters on the Avengers, but then as well, You now also have like characters like Green Lantern's part of the Justice League, another heavy hitter, especially if his willpower is maxed out. Like his constructs are based on his willpower. So if his willpower exceeds yours, you're not breaking his constructs, regardless of your strength.
Correct, because it's like it's all mentally
It's all
derived
mental.
from him.
Right. So
I'm gonna ask you a question. I just came up with it right now.
okay.
If you had to give the Green Lantern mantle to somebody in the MCU,
Okay.
who do you think's got the best willpower?
Ooh.
I literally just happened. I was like, I have to ask that.
Willpower?
That's what it's all derived on, right?
Yeah, there's an easy answer.
I know there is.
There is an easy answer. It's Captain America.
It's Steve fucking Rogers,
if you give
bro.
Captain America,
And I didn't know that answer before I asked the question, but as you said that, I'm like,
as
oh
I was
yeah.
thinking about it, like especially if you go from the comics, the movies, like
Is he a better Green Lantern than Green Lantern? Than Hal Jordan, or whichever Green Lantern you're.
I grew up with Hal Jordan. Typically, I grew up with Hal Jordan. The issue is I don't even know too much about the Green Lanterns, but here's what I will say. If you gave Steve Rogers a super soldier, Captain America, a Green Lantern ring, I do believe he would be the best Green Lantern out there.
What if you gave Steve Rogers a Green Lantern ring before he got the super soldier serum?
Again,
the willpower's still there.
I was about to say, again,
you just lose the physical aspects.
You lose his physical abilities, but again, I don't think you're breaking through that skinny, scrawny man's willpower.
The dude's biggest muscle on his body was his heart.
Yeah, and then that is your whole.
I hate the fact that this always happens because I really don't have Cap that high, but at the same time, I just fucking love what Captain America embodies. So yeah, I don't know. I'm here on this hill fighting.
As well, what I like about the Green Lanterns is there's another Lantern Corps called the Hope Lanterns. They're blue.
Okay, I was just going to ask you the color, but I was going to say yellow, so I'm glad I didn't say anything.
Yellow is fear. They are the direct opposite of willpower. That is.
So it's like Inside Out for
correct.
Green Lantern.
Exactly, bro. So blue is hope, and to become, I believe, you cannot have a Hope Lantern without a Green Lantern because hope derives from willpower.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I believe that's how the story goes. Kind of correct me if I'm wrong, guys, or expand on it, but as a very generalized topic, I believe that's how it goes. So I do believe he would make an even better Hope Lantern than Green Lantern because he's very, very hopeful, and no matter what, he has a good outlook on things. He's like, well, we're going to do it anyway, and I hope it's going to work. I think he would become a better Hope Lantern than Green Lantern, but I still think he would be the best Green Lantern.
These last couple of scenarios we've thrown out were not a part of the script.
No, but they worked really well.
And that's the whole incursion.
That's the whole point, man.
That's what we're hoping for, bro.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to just run one more by you real quick.
Go for it.
Because it's right under the one I just gave you. Excluding Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Who in the DC universe is worthy enough to wield Mjolnir? I have to take Wonder Woman out because she's the consensus number one pick, right? Would you pick Wonder Woman number one?
I might pick Superman number one.
I mean...
Can I exclude Superman from it?
I didn't even count him in this because Superman picks up Mjolnir and throws it back to fucking...
Okay, fair. Yeah,
Jotunheim.
Fair.
You know, what are we doing here?
Okay,
that's
so
my bad.
I do have a number one pick, actually.
Okay.
And it is not Wonder Woman. But I would never disagree with somebody who said Wonder Woman.
Are you going to say Green Lantern?
No.
Okay, then I'm interested. Let's hear it.
My number one pick is Flash. My number one pick is Flash.
You think he's picking up Mjolnir?
I think Flash is picking up Mjolnir. The reason being is there's an animated show of Flash where one of his main villains is actually like a drug abuser and an alcoholic. He sees him in a bar getting ready to like try and start some shit, and Flash goes up and just talks to him. Instead of just running him into prison, he's like, hey man, how you doing? He talks to him. If you watch the show, you can see where I'm coming from. No matter what, he always tries to do the better for the people.
Okay.
He's willing to sacrifice himself. He's done it many a times. He went back in time to try and.
Was that a pure-hearted thing, though, or was that a selfish thing?
No, he chased a villain back in time. He didn't go back in time by himself. Like a villain went back in time, and he chased back in time. Now the other thing as well, you got to.
But he didn't stop.
He couldn't,
and he started fucking up the past to make his life better.
Not in the show, maybe in the comics.
Okay, I'm talking about the Flash movie when he went back.
I haven't watched the Flash movie, so maybe that's why there's a correlation difference,
That's
which
fair.
is fair.
That's fair, yeah,
But
yeah.
here's my other point. Thor got stripped of Mjolnir and still managed to earn that respect back.
That's okay.
Which is why I think it's not as black and white as it seems. Which is almost as if like if he can redeem what he did. As again with Thor. Thor went back to the Ice Giants to start a war, got stripped of Mjolnir, went to go sacrifice himself as just a strong human, earned Mjolnir back, earned the will to get Mjolnir back, which is kind of
almost oxymoronical, but I
correct
understand
because then if you look at Black Widow, she's done the same thing.
This is how I'll answer that.
Look, yeah, answer it and then let me know what's your pick from the DC universe.
I had an initial thought in mind.
I have another pick as well, which people might really disagree with.
I feel like if you're pure-hearted and good and noble enough, that doing the right thing might sometimes entail doing the wrong thing.
I agree. Yeah.
So I can get that, like, they were like, hey, that was bad. We don't want you to have Mjolnir anymore. And then they were like, oh, shit, you're Thor. Yeah, my bad, bro. You did that for a reason,
Fair.
you know?
Fair.
The first person that came to my mind, and I'm on this snap answer thing, was Aquaman. I don't know why. I don't have a merit for this, but he was just always. I mean, Aquaman, DCU Aquaman. Other than
He was
like,
kind of cool, kind of unhinged, kind of like.
but just like a good-hearted dude, you know. Like,
yes, I agree.
Cyborg, even maybe, possibly, like he was never a bad guy. He just was under bad. But at the end of the day, bro.
Here's the thing. I feel like for it to be a question about if they can pick up Mjolnir, they need to be a main character where we know enough backstory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cyborg's got story, bro.
True. I just don't know it.
Fair.
And it's not put out there enough, which is why I don't want to comment whether or not I feel like Cyborg is worthy enough. I have...
How do you feel about Robin?
Which one?
Like early stages Robin before he ever got betrayed.
Like the Robin that becomes Nightwing, or the Robin that becomes... That's why I said which one, is because you have Batman's actual son, who I don't think is worthy because he's a bit of a dick.
The first one that came to my mind...
Dick Grayson.
He was a literal dick. And a metaphorical dick. I just think of Teen Titans Robin as being like the
well, it's
dude
funny
that...
you just said Robin because I was gonna say...
Nightwing specifically, or
no? I was gonna say, could Batman be in the topic? Yes, bro is sad and depressed, but his biggest thing is not to kill anyone, and he lives by it. And all he does is try and make his city a better place. Like, really, what has Batman and Bruce Wayne done wrong where he wouldn't be worthy when all he tries to do is live by a set of moral codes that doesn't... Yes.
I've got the best answer for this.
Yes, he
Undecided
technically
answer.
is breaking the law by being a vigilante, but so is Thor. If Thor's living on Earth,
So are all of them,
so are
technically.
every hero. You are a vigilante if you are not on the Sokovia Accords. Okay? Right?
Yeah.
So Batman doesn't kill. His biggest thing is not to kill, and he lives by that.
I guess where my mind takes me on what makes the decision on this is, are your like personal day-to-day life things counted in your nobility? Because if they are, I can't give it to Batman. And the only reason I say that is because Bruce Wayne is known as a playboy billionaire philanthropist.
He's Tony Stark.
Yes, not Cap.
Correct.
So
Fair.
are they judging you on those
Your
characteristics?
heroic abilities, or I think you're right. It's as a whole.
Are they judging you as your human characteristics or
I
your
see.
hero characteristics?
That's what makes it confusing then, because then let me throw this argument out there. Hawkeye. Bro has
I
a
didn't mean to make that
family
sound.
on a farm, and that's his life. He's not a billionaire playboy philanthropist.
Ronin.
Yeah.
That was easy.
Okay, but then afterwards, he tries to sacrifice himself, is willing to do so consistently. He killed bad guys, as so did Thor when he went against the ice giants.
When you bring up him offing himself, that instantly makes me think that Natasha was more worthy than him.
Natasha was just clearly a better hands-to-hand fighter.
If I could hold Mjolnir myself, which I'm not nearly worthy enough, trust me. But if I could, I would gladly hand it to Scarlett Johansson like this. You can have it.
Yeah, then she's gonna drop it.
And I'm gonna pick her and the hammer up
Fair.
in my arms.
That's fair. That's a loophole.
Yeah.
That's a loophole. If Scarlett Johansson's holding the hammer and I pick up Scarlett Johansson, like, am I holding the hammer?
Are we both worthy or what's up? I guess it comes down to like the moral compass. We've never had this conversation before.
No, and this is a good one.
Because it's hero based, right? We've always gone hero based, but
Haven't gone person.
are you judged on your human characteristics?
Right, because we've been talking about Thor, but Thor Odinson. But it's crazy because Thor Odinson, even before he got the hammer removed, he was Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne in Asgard. He was the prince, rich, super strong, untouchable besides his dad. He was a complete asshole while holding Mjolnir.
Mhm.
It wasn't until he... but then the spell, in the movie, the
Real
spell
tricky.
wasn't put on there until that scenario.
Real
so then
tricky.
really, he just gave Mjolnir there, and there wasn't, not a curse, but there wasn't like a binding contract until Thor misused Mjolnir. So I guess you would have to go after the fact, and after the fact, Thor was an honorable man.
As ignorant as Thor was in many scenarios, he always just was like,
Oh God,
that's a tough one, dude. This is deep. We
It's a
literally
tough one.
cracked open a door that we've never been through before.
guys, let us know in the comments if there's one character in Marvel or DC, and you know what? Let's expand it in any verse, anime, cartoon, something like that that you think is worthy of Mjolnir. Right now, we're aware of 3, at least in the Marvel universe. 4 if you count Moon Knight, but that's a little bit of a loophole.
That's a loophole.
That's a loophole. Yeah, it's a complete loophole. You have Vision, Thor, and Cap.
Yeah.
Let us know who you think is worthy, not who could lift it, because again, in the comics and the show, Hulk did lift it, because in the show, it's not who's worthy. It's just if you're not worthy, the hammer continuously gets heavier, but Hulk just got stronger faster than it got heavier, which is why he was able to lift it.
That was a math equation.
That's a math equation, and you're against Bruce Banner, you're going to lose the math equation.
Fair. Very fair.
In the Marvel universe, it's whoever's worthy. Let us know in any other universe who you think would be worthy to pick up the hammer.
I'm going to throw one person out as well, and it's not in a comic book related thing. But the first most consensus person that's worthy is Goku.
Goku?
Goku could juggle 3 Mjolnirs.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And that's not me asking like a disagreeing way. Like, is that genuinely your opinion?
The most pure-hearted dude of all the dudes. He's like alien, but so he's very similar to Thor, but just the most pure-hearted dude.
Could Spider-Man?
Yeah,
I think Spider-Man could.
I think he could too. He's wavered in his like mental states before, but Peter Parker might be the most pure-hearted person because
I
of his
agree.
age.
Yeah. And I don't think he ever loses it.
He was
Because
young.
especially when you see the older, the Tobey Maguire Peter Parker,
They're getting rusty, bro.
like, I would say Spider-Man can hold it.
Yeah, I would too.
I think not all of them, but I would say definitely Peter Parker and definitely Miles Morales.
Just Spider-Man, man.
I don't think Spider-Man 2020. I don't think Miguel O'Hara's holding it. He's definitely not picking up Mjolnir.
Fuck Miguel O'Hara. But I love you,
But I love you, Isaac.
Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac, I love you. Play 26 characters in
Yeah. Turns out the next Avengers movie is just Oscar Isaac just on all of his characters. There's nobody else. It's just Oscar Isaac.
There's 17 Moon Knight variations. Apocalypse, Poe Dameron from Star Wars. First talk of that. Fact check me on that.
Oh, that's good, man.
Yeah.
That was a good topic, man.
We're getting pretty close to the big draft, my boy.
Yeah, we are. Just quickly, I just want to ask your opinion on something else before we do that, because I think we should end on that.
Okay.
Which would be a good ending point. In your opinion, so far and based on what you've heard on reviews, and I want to know your guys's too, TV shows. Okay. Do you have a preference? Have you even, I know you very versed in Marvel shows on TV shows. How versed are you in DC shows?
I've watched a few. I've missed the mainstays, obviously. Like, I mean, are you counting like the Flash show in its entirety?
Yeah.
Missed it. I need to watch it. I really need to watch it.
It is one of my favorite superhero shows of all time. Live action.
The one DC project show that I watched, I mean, I've watched several. I haven't watched them all. I've watched several, but the one that comes to mind immediately is The Penguin. And in terms of...
I haven't heard it. I haven't watched it. I've heard it's phenomenal.
The Penguin is being listed on top 25 TV shows of all time.
I know.
And this is in lists that include shows like The Sopranos, Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
Breaking Bad. Wow.
Yeah, correct. I need to watch it because
It's not too heavy on like the superhero, like magical powery aspect. It's a street level show.
Yeah.
With just phenomenal acting, character development, the darkness that encapsulates that show that you always see in DC that doesn't always work, works so good in this show.
Yeah.
You should watch it, bro.
And it
Colin
is in
Farrell
the Batman universe, right? It's the same Penguin they used in the show, right?
Yes, and Colin Farrell did. I think he won an award. He had to have won like an Oscar or a Grammy or a To Doom award. I don't know who's giving awards out nowadays. Netflix has the To Doom. I watched that. And
Was it good?
It was very entertaining. Yeah, it was. But yeah.
Fair enough.
That's where I stand with all that.
Fair enough. Marvel shows you're pretty well versed in, right?
Mm-hmm. I've pretty much watched them all.
I think my top 3 are in order. I'm going to go probably Loki, and then I'm probably going to go Falcon Winter Soldier, and then third I'm going to go Moon Knight.
I might have the exact same list, but with Moon Knight at 2. Loki wins number 1. Nobody has a chance.
I agree with you, number 1. 100%.
No chance.
The reason the Falcon and Winter Soldier are number 2 and Moon Knight's at number 3, even though I loved Moon Knight, to me, the Falcon and Winter Soldier is tremendously more memorable.
It was a great show. I liked Moon Knight more because of the mental health aspect of it. It was like
very cool in that aspect. Yes.
It was like a fractured psyche show, and I just think they literally didn't miss a beat on it. But Falcon and Winter Soldier was a little bit more grounded.
Yeah.
And it was coming after some massive implications that happened in the MCU. They were like, what are we going to do with Cap? And they were like, this is what we're going to do with Cap.
And it worked. It did. It was a great filler show.
Yeah, it came out at the perfect time.
The last Captain America or the last Avengers. It was a great filler show, from the last Avengers to Captain America Brave New World.
I agree.
It was. Moon Knight, I think the reason I have it at 3 is just because we have had nothing on it before, and we've also had nothing on it afterwards.
I know.
Oscar Isaac is confirmed to be in the new Avengers movie that's coming out, right? I'm pretty sure he was. I checked it out, I think.
He was confirmed, but
his character wasn't confirmed. And there's 3 he could be playing.
Don't fuck with me, bro. Bring him back as Apocalypse and Moon Knight.
I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that.
The thing with Moon Knight for me is I've gone back and rewatched that show 4 to 5 times. Mm-hmm. You can't figure it out. And I like shows like that because they're fair. Like, is it your problem? Like, are you just not figuring this out?
Yeah.
It's almost like a gaslighting show.
Yeah.
I'm watching it and I'm like, why am I not?
I think I'm going to rewatch it actually because one, I love Egyptian mythology, which is Moon Knight to a T.
Yeah.
And then as well, I just love Moon Knight as a character as well. So DC, they do have some heavy hitter shows. The Flash was one of the biggest. Obviously, the Penguin, probably the biggest. Then I would say maybe the Flash after. There's a few Superman shows which are kind of cool. They're for like everyday people, I would say.
Like Smallville and things like that.
Smallville, and then they have one that I feel like wasn't advertised. It was Superman and Lois, but it was still a very big show. They also had the Supergirl show, Arrow, which was very cool. I can't remember what came out first. Either Daredevil came out first or Arrow came out first.
They were very similar timing.
Very similar. Just Daredevil's a little bit darker. Marvel and DC can both cook on TV shows.
Agreed.
They can.
DC's got the bulk of it.
Animated shows, I would give the crown to DC
by a long
overall.
shot.
But Marvel, they have the potential. They did the X-Men reboot, and then they also did that new Spider-Man show, which was fantastic as well.
It was very good. I
really liked.
They were talking about that Batman Beyond movie.
Oh my God!
It was going to be like Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, man.
Who decided to cancel it? Come to the pod. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
physically with
bring a
violence.
mouth guard, dog. If you come to the pod, bring a mouth guard.
We're going to physically talk about this with violence.
Yeah, not many words will be said.
I don't think it was the person that like directed it, but whatever dude behind the scenes was like, I don't think this is going to work. We want you to be our first guest.
I would say Batman Beyond is probably 90% of Batman fans' favorite iteration of Batman.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. And
So
I
good.
saw like concept pictures of it. It looked just like Across the Spider-Verse.
Phenomenal, man. It would be the perfect. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if we can petition to get Sonic the Hedgehog's facial structure changed,
correct.
Let's start the petition, boys.
Yeah.
All 52 YouTube followers. Come on.
Yeah, I agree, dude. We need it, man. We need it. Batman Beyond in that style. Oh.
I'm telling you, bro.
Imagine Poison Ivy as a villain in that style. It'd just be crazy, man. Mr. Freeze and that kind of. Oh, it'd just be
any
good,
of them.
dude.
All right, guys, look, we're back. And we've reached the end of the Marvel vs. DC pod.
Yes, we have.
And we're going to end it on a banger.
Yes, we are.
We're doing a 5v5 superhero draft with both universes included.
Yes, we are.
Serpentine style. And it's going to be ugly.
It is.
We're going to take a couple minutes at the end to decide whose team wins.
Yeah, and also you guys let us know which team you think wins as well.
We need your guys' opinions. They're the most important opinions. So I have designated this wheel. Max is green. I'm yellow. Right? 50-50.
Okay.
And
we're going by like comic universes and everything, right?
Yeah.
Is there any characters we should ban?
I don't think so. I'm not going to make any crazy ass pulls, but we're also just going kind of like the best version of the standard level of the character. We're not doing Rune King Thor. We're doing like Thor, like Infinity War Endgame Thor. That's cool, but not Rune Game Thor. So whoever gets the wheel gets to pick if they go first or second. We're doing serpentine style to keep it even. I'm spinning.
Go.
Oh my God, who is that on? That's on you. Your pick, Bubby.
Okay.
Oh my God, that couldn't have been any closer. It was like 51-49.
Okay, interesting. All right, first pick.
You get to pick if you want to go first or second, third. Your choice.
I actually want to go second.
Fuck.
I want you to go first.
Fuck.
Yeah, I want you to go first.
I have to take Superman. I'd be stupid not to.
Fair. So Superman's your pick?
Also, for the record, we're doing this in a way where it's like 2 or 3 heavy hitters, 2 or 3 street level people. We're trying to keep it somewhat balanced.
Correct.
So I didn't want to go first.
That's fair.
But I'd be stupid not to take Superman at number 1.
I'm going to pick somebody who I think could hold their own. I'm going to go Silver Surfer.
Okay. I didn't even have him written down. Not dispowering him. I just didn't have him written down.
For sure. I think I'm going to go Silver Surfer.
Okay. You do get the next pick as well.
Oh, interesting.
So the Serpentine's like 1, you pick 2, I pick 2, you pick 2.
Okay. All right. So okay, cool. Hold on. Let me just write. Working makes me gross. All right. So you got Superman right off the bat. Good pick. I've got Silver Surfer.
Is he not the unanimous number one?
Yeah.
I just would have been dumb not to take him.
Okay. So here's the thing. Do I go with somebody comparable in the Marvel universe, or do I go with somebody who could?
For the record, too, we're drafting teams to try to beat each other. Like they're gonna clash.
Yes, I need another massive hitter. There's a character I want to say I don't know him enough. I'm gonna go Sentry.
Had him on my list.
I'm gonna go Sentry as my second pick.
He's the closest counter to Superman, at least on paper.
Correct.
And also, you've left the pick I wanted.
The reason I picked Sentry is it'd be interesting to see if that Shadow Realm ability works on Superman.
That's fair. Oh my god, I'm so glad he's still available. Flash.
That was who I was debating.
I've got him so fucking high on my personal list in terms of like how I really think. I mean, they show glimpses of how super speed can be utilized, but I just have to go Flash. He's very hard to counter in any aspect.
Fair.
And I get the second pick here.
You get your number 3 pick now. Yep.
Are we? I don't know if I want to go heavy hitters. I don't know where I want to go here. But I need a high IQ person on my team.
Okay.
And I'm jumping into Iron Man right now.
Okay. Yeah, that is a high IQ person. Okay.
Tony Stark, Iron Man.
Okay, fair enough. For my number 3 pick, again, I was thinking the same thing, another high IQ pick, and somebody who has beaten Batman before, it's going to be Batman.
You mean beaten Iron Man before?
No.
Batman. Beat Batman?
Batman has beat Superman before.
I'll beat Superman. Okay.
Sorry, I messed that up completely.
Batman would probably be Batman.
Batman would beat Batman.
With enough prep time.
With enough, okay. Random encounter that Batman
versus Superman, that's fair.
I'm going Batman just because I think, like you said, I need a high IQ play.
His IQ will help.
And also, I didn't have a DC character. I wanted a DC character.
Fair. I started with 2 DC characters.
I started with 2 Marvel.
You get the next one.
Are we doing top 6 or top 5?
I had 5 down. I'm cool with either way.
Okay, for now, let's start 5. Maybe we do 6.
Okay.
For my 4th pick, it's gonna fuck you up, Parky.
There's no way you ass pull this. Go ahead. There's no way you ass pull who I think you're ass pulling. There's 2 characters I have in mind. One of them I can live with. One of them I'll fucking crash out. I'll crash out on the stream, bro. You'll never see me crash out.
Okay, great. Yeah, then it's Deadpool.
Fuck! That was the crash out one. That was the fucking...
I knew it was, man. He's your favorite character. And the reason I'm picking... I have reasoning, though. It's not to be a dick.
He just can't die.
He can't die, and he's killed the Marvel Universe twice. He's killed the Marvel Universe
I didn't even think
twice.
you had him written fucking down. He was the only character I wrote down in capital letters.
I didn't have him written down, but I'm just now trying to think of counters.
All right, buddy, you fucked up.
To your heavy hitters, man.
You fucked up. Where are we counting Iron Man?
Let's do 6.
Okay.
And
cool.
honestly, just go with the flow, man.
Yep. So you just picked 2, right?
I picked Batman and Deadpool.
Okay. So we've got 3.
I've got 4. You've got 3.
Okay. You picked Batman too, you fucking punk.
I did.
I get the next 2 picks.
You get the next 2 picks.
I'm cool with that. I'm very cool with that. Actually.
Okay.
I wrote a lot of people down for a reason. Can you repeat your team to me? Because I didn't write them down.
Okay, so you have right now Superman, Flash, and Iron Man. I have Silver Surfer, Sentry, Batman, and Deadpool.
Fuck.
I didn't think my team was that heavy hitter, but just reading it out loud, I have a pretty heavy team right now as well.
All right.
I have 2 street level heroes who can do massive amounts of damage.
Very true. Deadpool can die. So, all right, I have my 2 lined up.
And Batman has contingencies, hopefully for everyone, you'd think.
I have my 2 lined up, and I'm absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
The other one that I'm torn on, I'm going to skip till the second one, but I'm taking Spider-Man.
Oh, I wanted Spider-Man. I wanted Spider-Man so bad.
I didn't expect him to fall this far. However, you made some curveball picks that pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Look, pick number 5 is going to be an interesting one. I was going to pick Hulk,
Okay.
but I'm going to pick Captain Marvel instead.
Oh.
Really, really strong, almost Superman-y-ish gal.
Yeah.
I mean, Hulk's the cooler pick, but Captain Marvel's the stronger. She's stronger.
Then, yeah, maybe, yeah.
I think she absolutely
Depending on which variation, yeah.
Correct. But if I'm going off of Endgame, the same Hulk that got literally 2-pieced by Thanos in an embarrassing manner, Captain Marvel caught his fist and was like, what are we doing here? You know, I'm going Captain Marvel. So that's my 5.
That's 5, yeah.
You get the last 2 and I get the final pick.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
We're only doing heroes, right?
Fuck you. Yes.
Okay.
That's crazy. Literally the only one, duh. That's crazy. But I like it. That's the point of the draft.
That's the point of the draft, my friend. Oh. But it seems like I've got a very Marvel-based roster here. Let's see here. I got to make the right play, man. I got to make the right play. Only heroes, huh?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I am going to try and I have my 2 answers ready, but I'm going to swap one of them just to mix up Marvel and DC a little bit more here. I'm going Thor. I am taking Thor.
How did Thor fall this far? When I crossed out Flash, I crossed out Thor.
It was the curveball I think I threw that maybe made things think a bit differently.
I can see my cross out too. I have Thor and then Flash, and I crossed them both out.
And then
Thor, fuck, I could have cleared you so bad.
Number 6. Number 6. You know what? Let's throw this out there.
If you do it again,
I don't think so. It's not going to be your pick. I know it's not going to be your pick. I
Okay,
know
go
it's not going to be your pick. 100% it's not going to be your pick. I had an answer lined up, and I was like, oh, I need another banger. And
you got Thor in the 5th round, bro. That should have been one of the first 4 picks.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm so mad at myself for sleeping on that.
I'm surprised Hulk's not been picked yet.
Because I would have picked Thor over Captain Marvel. All good. Part of the draft. Hulk's there. Several solid, viable characters are still here. I got 1 pick left, so I mean, the world is your oyster, my boy.
I know. This is hard, man. This isn't as. I have Thor. Oh my god, this is not easy. This is super not easy.
This has been our highest stakes draft because it's like there's some stakes here.
Okay, Wonder Woman.
Okay, She was one of the 3 people I expected you to pick.
What were the other 2?
Hulk, Wonder Woman, and the next one, which I'm going to take, which is Scarlet Witch.
Oh, good pick.
It was Scarlet Witch or Strange. Technically, I had 4. But I'm taking Scarlet.
Forgot about.
I'm taking Scarlet over Doctor. I like Doctor more, but Scarlet is stronger.
Fair. You know who I was actually debating? I was debating between Wonder Woman and Supergirl.
I didn't even have it written down.
Neither
That's
did
a fair
I.
right.
But she's got the same powers as Superman.
Yes.
Okay. Hulk did not get picked. If we weren't going for street tier heroes, which we both have, but we also don't have.
Yeah. My streetest tier is Spider.
Yeah, my streetiest tier is Batman or Dead. I don't know.
Both.
Both.
But then, like, Deadpool can't ever die. So, like, what tier do you count?
And then you have Iron Man, who's
in between the
in
two.
between the two.
I put him right in the middle.
Yes, I agree.
He fought universal threats, but
yeah.
I need to go down here and rewrite them just real quick.
Yeah, dude.
This is. Look, I'm gonna be on. Look, at this point, we've drafted.
We've drafted.
We're critiquing and comparing for the next 5 to 10 minutes, and we're calling it a quits. Silver Surfer probably merits a pretty high pick, but where the fuck did that come from?
Okay.
Do you think the Silver Surfer beats Superman in a fight? Take everything off the table.
The thing about the Silver Surfer is
he's gonna hang. He's definitely hanging.
He's not a low diff opponent for Superman.
Not anywhere near that.
No, I don't think that maybe he beats him. However, on a 1v1, I do think Superman wins. But Silver Surfer works for Galactus, has powers of the universe. I mean, he can literally, you can punch him and your fist will just go right through him.
The Herald of Galactus.
The Herald of Galactus. I think that he could, especially with Sentry, keep them distracted enough for Batman to figure out a contingency plan against him. Now, that being said, I have the rest of your team to worry about. Flash. Flash is an issue.
I'm counting him as my ace over Superman.
Truthfully, I don't blame you.
I'm going to walk right up to Flash and go, hey.
The thing is
I need you to brutally murder as many people as you can.
Truthfully, because your 2 biggest players are your aces, Superman and Flash, I think my biggest ace is Batman. He has contingency plans on everyone in that universe. That includes Superman and that includes the Flash.
What about Scarlet Witch? What contingency plan do you have
against
magic?
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't. However,
he knows both of these guys. They're his boys.
I also have Thor.
Yeah. Thor's
a menace.
Thor was the steal of the draft.
Yes, correct. Depending on which way you look at it, he is a contender to potentially Superman, depending on which aspect we go. And if he's not, he's definitely somebody to...
He's a good,
buffer almost.
2B to Superman.
Then...
Superman, Thor, Flash crossed out, Thor got snipped.
I've got Deadpool.
I'm fucking so mad about that one.
Fair. He, like you said, he can't die. And he's a master assassin. That, I think, would help against Spider-Man and Iron Man. I don't think he wins against Spider-Man and Iron Man, but I think he's my best bet at those 2. Because here's the thing, I've got to do a lot of 2v1s. I also have Sentry. Now, me and you don't know too much about Sentry. We've only seen him in the Thunderbolts truthfully. He was very strong, very fast in that movie. We don't know if he is Superman-esque or not. We don't really know.
I view him like my mental state currently on him is like, and I hate to use this term, but I don't have a better term, is like the Walmart Superman or like the Kmart Superman.
Yeah.
He's got all the traits of Superman. He just doesn't have the fucking track record or the, you know,
I
the
agree.
tenure and the time. So
The other thing as well, to finish it off, I think Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman have a good fight.
I think they have a good fight, but and I'm not saying this because I drafted her, but Captain Marvel's like space strong.
I think Wonder Woman is too.
Wonder Woman's like Captain America Earth strong.
No.
She's stronger than Cap.
She's closer to Superman than she is to Cap.
Agreed. However,
do you think Captain Marvel against Superman is close? I don't think so. You really think so? You think Captain Marvel's in talk against a Superman? Really?
Ish.
And that's where I put Cap. That's where I put.
I might put
Wonder
Cap
Woman.
against Sentry. I might put Captain Marvel against Sentry.
That would be fair.
She's literally powered by an Infinity Stone. Like, that's powerful. She was like
True.
the only person that like heckled Thanos down a little bit. And now we're cross-referencing comics and MCU.
Yes,
and that's beautiful. I love that. I'm not mad about that because we're all allowed to make our judgment on what we want. My question is, who's stopping chaos magic on your team? The only person that has a chance,
I think, is Thor or Silver Surfer.
Yes. Silver Surfer is the only one I had in mind.
I was thinking Thor. Based on the MCU renditions, an all-out Scarlet Witch against an all-out Thor, I think an all-out Thor slams.
I like your haircut.
That was against Captain Marvel.
Yeah, which is great, but they stole each other's haircuts, kind of. In a
They
way.
did. Here's the thing. I think if my team can figure out a way against to stop your 1 and 2, I think I win. If I don't get past 1 or 2, your whole team just overpowers the fuck out of me.
And the way I look at your team as strong as Silver Surfer was the biggest curveball you could have thrown. It made no sense, and I love it. I fucking love it because it just didn't make any sense. But I was like,
he travels the universe in search of planets for Galactus to eat.
I could see it, but that literally fucked the entire draft up.
Good.
It really did, and that's the whole goal of it. But this is a tricky one. It's tricky. It's very tricky. Look, if I look at them, if I try to line them up against who fights who in a 1v1, which is how I would assume this fight starts, like Civil War, we're running at each other.
Okay.
I'm fighting you because we're close.
Yeah.
We're fighting each other because we're close. I think Superman beats Sentry.
Oh, yeah, I'll give you that.
I would have to probably pin Flash against Silver Surfer because you don't have speedsters and Thor's
Here's
fast,
the thing.
but he's not a speedster.
I was thinking about a counter speedster, but then I'm like, what's the point?
Silver Surfer's a better pick than Quicksilver would have been.
That's my point. You know what I mean?
We clearly put Iron Man against Batman, and I'm sorry, but you told me earlier that Iron Man wins that fight.
I did. But
now we're talking about
Iron Man and Spider-Man beat Batman and Deadpool?
Oh, I would love to see that. Wait, Iron Man, Spider-Man. God, I wish we could have one from each universe crossing this, but this is how they drafted. That's the best. That's the best meat of this fight, excluding the Superman fights.
Correct.
You just
I don't think so. With Deadpool being the key factor here.
If I'm going to pick out two people that I think can beat or inevitably in the long term kill Deadpool, it's Batman and Tony Stark. They're going to figure out the way.
True. But you only got one of them.
That's true.
I got the other.
Yeah, but mine's wiping yours out. And now I'm the smartest guy.
True.
We don't know the orchestration of the fight. So I'm like throwing my scenario against your scenario.
Of course.
I just don't feel a lot of magical power on your side for Scarlet. Like, if I'm getting a pretty strong Scarlet, not Nexus being Scarlet, like rewrite the universe. That's not fair.
Okay.
But like, I'm gonna say Endgame Scarlet, who was basically about to destroy Thanos until he was like, just bomb the whole planet, bomb it. I'm fucked.
True.
She was gutting him.
I think Thor.
He's your closest magical option, but he's not a magician. He can control thunder and a hammer.
Yes,
And
but
that
he's
sounded
also
like
very religious, and he's a god.
That is very true. He's a god. Is a god?
He doesn't control thunder. He's the god of thunder.
Is a god? This is a great question. We're gonna have more content to roll out of this. Is a god higher on the food chain than Nexus being? There's a big difference here too. Let me explain this.
Okay.
There's multiversal versions of Thor. There's
True.
a bunch of different Thors.
True.
Nexus beings, there's one of them that exists in every multiverse. Wanda is Wanda in any of the universes.
Yes. Okay.
That's powerful.
That is
It's a
very,
powerful
very
thing.
powerful.
She's just this omnipotent thing, but he is a god. He's
Okay,
the
so
god.
question then. Okay, I think maybe you're right. Thor is a god.
I'm not downplaying the god aspect. He's a
I
god.
almost think Wonder Woman is the Thor of DC Universe, and I think I have them both. She's. Here's the thing, right? We can downplay Wonder Woman all we want, right? But here's the thing. Like I said, being close, she's extremely strong. Like I think if Captain America punched Wonder Woman in the face, he breaks his arm, and it doesn't affect her at all.
No, Wonder Woman slams Cap, but Captain Marvel slams Wonder Woman.
No,
Yes.
I don't think it's a slamification. I think they're a lot closer than you think, and I actually would put my money on Wonder Woman. She has the lasso of truth. She's an Amazonian. I have a god and Wonder Woman, the goddess of the Amazonian women tribe, whatever you want to call it.
Captain Marvel can fly. That's so cool.
She
That's
can
so helpful.
fly. She definitely can fly, but so can Thor, so can Sentry, and so can Silver Surfer.
No, I'm just saying. I'm sending Cap. Okay. If I'm
Okay,
like,
you know what? Give me who you're sending against my team, and then I'll give you who I'm sending against your team.
I just don't have them written down properly enough. Okay.
Me neither.
So look, realistically, I'm sending Superman to Sentry, and I think Superman wins. And I'm sending Iron Man to Batman, who we both agree wins.
Yes. Yes, we do. We do.
I'm sending Captain Marvel to Wonder Woman, who I think wins.
Okay.
The biggest problem here is very relevant already. This is pretty balanced. I would probably, in this scenario, based off how I fucked myself already, is I'm sending Scarlet to Thor, and that's going to be a toss-up.
Okay.
Thor's stronger, Scarlet's magically more powerful.
Okay.
Okay, so you've got Deadpool, and what was your sixth?
Wonder Woman.
Okay, I already included her.
I've got Silver Surfer, Sentry, Batman, Deadpool, Thor, Wonder Woman.
Look, ironically, my cross-reference incursion thing was what if the Flash got Silver Surfer powers? So I would pin the Flash against Silver Surfer.
Okay.
I don't think you need to be in outer space to go back in time. I think it's close when I want to edge it to Silver Surfer. I mean, Silver Surfer is like cosmic, planetary kind of scenario. And then my last people are Spider-Man against Deadpool. And I think Spider-Man wins that only because Deadpool obsesses over Spider-Man. He loves him.
True.
I don't think he wins it. I just think he, quote unquote, wins it, you know?
Okay.
Like Deadpool's like, all right, bro, like let's go make a movie together. These are good teams to be fighting each other. I'm so mad about Thor, but I'm more mad about Deadpool. I wanted to pick Moon Knight. Hulk didn't get picked. Strange didn't get picked. Aquaman didn't get picked. Daredevil, Punisher, Nightwing.
I was also tossing up Shazam.
I thought of him earlier and I didn't even write him down. I
Because
was like, I'm not.
Black
paying
Adam
Shazam.
is a comparable to Superman.
Correct.
And
Black
Shazam's
Adam.
comparable, but that's why I kept asking. I was like, that's why I wanted to make sure just heroes only, because if not, I probably would have thrown Black Adam, and then Black Adam would have been my strong magic user. Okay, so here's what I've got against your team. Okay, I'm throwing 2 right off the bat at Superman. I'm throwing my Silver Surfer and Thor.
You're throwing 2 people at one person?
Yep.
I was just okay. That's fine.
But somebody's going to get left out.
That's fair. That's
So
also true.
I'm
So you're throwing Silver Surfer and Sentry at Soups?
Nope. I'm throwing Silver Surfer and Thor at Soups.
Strong. Very tough.
The fastest person on my team is probably Sentry. Also, potentially one of the strongest. That is going to go against Flash. He isn't faster than Flash, but he's strong. He also has the void aspect. And if he can somehow catch Flash in that shadow realm, maybe that doesn't end it, but it at least buys him some time. That's
2
thought
separate
process.
characters, bro. I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
The Void and Sentry?
The Void is a character.
Okay.
I'll still give it to you in this scenario, but it's Sentry and the Void. His name is the Void. It's a blacked out.
Yes, so.
It's a blackface Sentry.
It's just
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
fair.
It's 2 characters.
That's my. Sure. No.
Mhm.
It's 2 personalities.
I give it to you. That's fine.
Is
I'm just
Bucky
nitpicking
Barnes
you.
and Winter Soldier 2 characters?
Yes,
No, they're 1 character.
they're different.
No, they're 2 personalities of 1 character.
Bucky doesn't do what the Winter Soldier
Okay,
does.
but they're both Bucky Barnes down to the core.
But Bucky's not the Winter Soldier. But he is the
Bucky
Winter Soldier.
Is the Winter Soldier.
But they're not the
He's
same
just
character.
not always the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier kills people. Bucky doesn't.
Bucky was in World War II. He definitely kills people.
I'm not counting war crimes. I'm counting
just
superhero
saying, I'm
crimes.
just saying.
That's fair.
Anyway,
I didn't pick any dual personality characters. Keep going.
you Scarlet Witch. Wanda
Okay.
Maximoff
Okay.
and Scarlet Witch are different characters. Then, based on what you're saying.
Okay.
But anyway.
Yeah, keep going. Just keep going.
I've got Batman going against Spider-Man. Strength-wise, Spider-Man's... Hold on. Spider-Man slams strength-wise. Okay?
There's no prep time in this, by the way.
I understand that. But that also means that they're all suited up, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Batman has his gadgets.
They're full gear.
They're
full gear.
Full gear, and if they're full gear, there is a potential that Batman has something to incapacitize, at least for a second, Spider-Man. There's a way. There's also that moral aspect, and if somebody was going to talk down Spider-Man out of my entire team, I think it would be Batman.
I wish you watched Naruto.
Right? So
We're
hold on. I'm throwing Deadpool at Iron Man.
That's a phenomenal pick because nothing Iron Man can do
Here's
is
the
stopping
thing.
that.
Here's the thing. You could blow Deadpool up to pieces. It's going to take him weeks to regenerate. But
Yeah.
Deadpool's a master assassin. He's a master marksman. He's incredible with the swords. He knows what the fuck he's doing. He's my best pick that's not overpowered because I need them to go against. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's my pick for Iron Man. I only have Wonder Woman left, and I have 2 of your people left. I'm going Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel. And you think Captain Marvel wins? I think Wonder Woman wins. Guys, let us know in the comments who you think wins that fight. The only issue I have now is I have now Scarlet Witch left completely
You're fucked.
free. I don't think I am. I don't think I am.
Oh, she's just gonna
I
sit
have
there
2-on-1 against Superman.
She could help everyone on my team if she's not guarded.
True, she can. But she's probably not going to expect Superman to need help against the 2 of my picks. I think the 2 of my picks could incapacitate Superman, and then I now have a 2-on-1 against Scarlet Witch, and that's how I think I win.
We need
the outsider's perspective. I honestly think they're gonna side with you.
These are 2 good teams, man. You stealing Thor and look, if I would have picked up Thor in the 3rd or 4th round, we were not even talking. I would already be on my way home.
Yeah, true.
But that was a massive pick.
Late too.
Correct.
The
Stupidly,
1, 2, 3,
almost
4, 5,
embarrassingly late.
6, 7, 8.
You got him in the
pick. It was the 9th pick.
Yeah. That's a top 3 pick.
Yeah.
So.
And Hulk wasn't even chosen. But we did discuss throwing some street level heroes in there.
Correct.
Which is why a Ghost Rider was almost a pick for me.
I wanted to take Moon Knight.
That would have been a good fight.
Moon Knight. Now, the only thing I haven't ever clarified is which Spider-Man I've taken.
Which Spider-Man have you taken?
You know which Spider-Man I've taken. Spider-Gwen. No, I'm just kidding. Realistically, I would probably take Miles.
You think so?
Yeah. I just like the fact that all these extra abilities that he has are just so clutch. But in this fight, I'm probably taking like a primed out Peter. You know what I mean?
Fair.
Like Peter primed.